Morning. This is the next lesson study of In His Word, Bible Lesson Guides, number 7. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about a glimpse of the next world empire. Traveling along a mountain road one rainy night, a man suddenly lost his headlights. The road was crooked and dangerous. Fear gripped his heart as he quickly brought his car to a stop in the darkness. Not until the lights went out did he realize their real value and how much he depended on them to show him what lay ahead. Miraculously, he avoided disaster. Never again did he take those precious headlights for granted. As we speed down the road of life, we too need a light to guide us. Daily news tells of troubles facing everyone, everywhere. Crisis follows crisis, as we may wonder if the whole world isn't falling apart. We are anxious to know what tomorrow will bring. Isaiah seems to be describing our day. Behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 2. But God has not left us alone in the dark. He has given a wonderful light to guide us through the darkness of this world. Let's see how this light reveals where we are going. Number 1. What gift has God given man to reveal the future? Look up 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19 through 21. Again, 2 Peter 1, verse 19 through 21. Webster defines prophecy as a prediction of the future. 2. What ability does the God of creation claim to possess that makes him superior to all other gods? Look up Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9 and 10. Again, Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9 and 10. Number 3. Why did Jesus say that he foretold his followers the future? Look up John chapter 14, verse 29. Again, John 14, verse 29. God looks into the future and tells us what is going to happen centuries before the events come to pass, so that as we see these prophecies fulfilled, we will have faith in him and his word. Number 4. To whom does God reveal the secrets of the future? Look up Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Again, Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Nebuchadnezzar was king of Babylon. the first world empire, and he had a troubling dream. But the next morning he couldn't remember the dream, which had troubled him so greatly. He was certain that it held special significance for him, and he had a consuming passion to recall the dream or have it revealed to him. It is suggested that you should read the entire chapter of Daniel, chapter 2, in your Bible. Again, that is Daniel, entire chapter, number 2. The events of this chapter took place in the year 605 BC. In this chapter, God outlines the future of the world for 2,600 years. Number 5. Whom did the king summon to show him his dream and its interpretation? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 2 through 6. Again, Daniel chapter 2, verse 2 through 6. Number 6. When the wise men were unable to tell the king his dream, what command did King Nebuchadnezzar give? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 7 through 13. Again, Daniel chapter 2, verse 7 through 13. Number 7. When Daniel was brought in to be slain, what request did he make of the king? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 16. Again, Daniel 2, verse 16. Daniel and his 3 friends were Hebrews from royal families taken captive when Nebuchadnezzar had defeated Israel. Because of their wisdom and character, they had been trained and educated by the Babylonians and given high positions in the kingdom. They were included with the wise men. However, they worshiped the true God and were not magicians or astrologers, as were the other wise men of the kingdom. Number 8. Whom did Daniel say could reveal the dream and its interpretation to King Nebuchadnezzar? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 26 through 28. Again, Daniel 2, verse 26 through 28. Pay particular attention to verse 28. Number 9. What did Daniel tell the king he had seen in his dream? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 31 through 35. Again, Daniel 2, 31 through 35. And again, pay particular attention to verse 31. Fill in the blank of that verse in 31. Thou, O king, sawest and beheld a great what? Again, from Daniel chapter 2, verse 31, the verse reads, Thou, O king, sawest and beheld a great what? Was it A, the head of the image was of what? B, the breast and arms were of what? C, the belly and thighs were of what? D, the legs were of what? E, the feet were partly of what and partly of what? Now, all these are, of course, answers you can gain from the reading of Daniel 2, verse 31 through 35, and you just fill in the blanks as to what is being seen. Now, the king and Daniel saw the centuries to come. They saw mighty Babylon succeeded by another world empire, succeeded by another, and then another, which would be broken into many kingdoms. Finally, the God of heaven would set up a kingdom that would stand forever. Number 10. What did Daniel say was represented by the head of gold? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 37 and 38, and pay particular attention to verse 38. Again, Daniel 2, verse 37 and 38, with specific attention to verse 38. Number 11. How would the Second World Empire of Medo-Persia come with the Golden Empire of Babylon? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 39. Again, Daniel 2, verse 39. Truly, the following kingdoms were inferior to the great Babylon. It was a golden kingdom of a gold age. Babylon, its metropolis, towered to a height never reached by any of its successors. Its gates of solid brass, its hanging gardens, rising terrace above terrace, its two royal palaces, one 3.5 and the other 8 miles in circumference, with a subterranean tunnel under the river Euphrates connecting these two places. There, with the whole earth prostrate at her feet, stood this city, fit capital of the kingdom, which was represented by the golden head of this great historic image. Daniel and the Revelation, page 42 and 43. Number 12. What metal represented the belly and thighs of the image, or the Third World Empire of Greece? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 39. Again, Daniel 2, verse 39. Alexander the Great and his army in the Battle of Arbela in BC 331 settled the fate of the Persian Empire and established the wide dominion of the Greeks. H. Grattan Guinness, The Divine Program of the World's History, page 308. It is interesting that much of the armor worn by the Grecians was made of brass. Number 13. The Fourth World Empire of Rome was as strong as what metal? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. Again, Daniel 2, verse 40. History says the images of gold or silver or brass that might serve to represent the nations and their kings were successively broken by the iron monarchy of Rome. East E. Gibbon, The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, page 38. Number 14. What was to happen to the Fourth World Empire of Rome? Look up Daniel chapter 2, verse 41. Again, Daniel 2, verse 41. Barbarian invasions of Rome divided the empire. These divisions, 10 in number, represented by the 10 toes of iron and clay, formed the foundations of the nations located in Europe today. These barbaric tribes are listed as follows by most historians: Illuminati, Ostrogoths, Visigoths, Franks, Vandals, Suevi, Burgundians, Heruli, Anglo-Saxons, and Lombards. For further reading, you should look up and see Gibbon, The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, Volume 3. Remember, God has been too much for me. Napoleon is reported as saying after the Battle of Waterloo. We will be back after this brief intermission.
Troublesome times are here, filling men's hearts with fear. Freedom we all hold dear, now is at stake. Humbling your heart to God, saves from the chastening rod. Seek the way pilgrims trod, Christians away. Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon. Many will meet their doom. Trumpets will surely sound. All of the dead shall rise, righteous meet in the skies. Going where no one dies, heavenward bound. Lovers so many cold, losing their home of gold. Listen, God's word is told, evils abound. When these signs come to pass, nearing the end at last, it will come very fast, trumpets will sound. Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon. Many will meet their doom. Trumpets will surely sound. All of the dead shall arise, righteous meet in the skies. Going where no one dies, heavenward bound. Troubles will soon be o'er, happy forevermore, when we meet on the shore, free from all care. Rising up in the sky, telling this world goodbye. Onward we then will fly, glory to share. Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon. Many will meet their doom. Trumpets will surely